You're tuned into Exercise for the Mind, where we give you the best tips on battling mental health with the strength of your body.
Hi everyone, welcome to Exercise for the Mind's very first podcast. I'm your host and the founder of the podcast, Raina Wall. In today's episode, I'm going to be giving a little backstory on me and why this podcast actually exists. And then I'm going to talk about how I regained control of my life after the mental health setback I experienced. So back in 2019, August of 2019, I was sexually assaulted, which I won't go into detail about because I am very healed from it and I no longer feel it deserves that anything. So from August to December, I would say that was the worst time of my life. I was in denial. I disassociated from myself. I was just extremely depressed, extremely sad, and I was ruining my life pretty much. In that 4-month time period, I was ruining every personal relationship and connection that I had. I was spiraling. I was letting everything turn to dust. I was letting everything just ruin me. In December is when I had the epiphany that this was not me, that I was no longer going to let myself be sad anymore. I wasn't going to let myself or let that situation per se take any more months of my life. So the summer before it happened, I was pretty into fitness. Planet Fitness had their whole free teen summer situation going on, and I was very consistent with that. I had done the membership. I would ride my bike 2 hours to the gym, work out for an hour, ride my bike 2 hours back because I couldn't drive yet. And I lost that, of course, after what happened to me had happened. I started gaining weight. I started getting more sad. I was eating to cope with my feelings, not leaving the house or my bed because of how sad I was. That was when I realized that was not going to work for anymore. So as soon as I turned 16, my birthday was in January. So after I had realized what had happened to me, I finally accepted what happened to me. As I give you steps to regain control, I'm going to also use my story as an analogy to the event. I'm going to hop right into the steps. So the step 1 was to face and accept what caused the loss of control. So like I said, I spent 4 months in a state of denial. I didn't want to accept that I was that girl. I didn't want to accept that had happened to me, that I was I didn't want to accept it at all. I just thought that didn't happen. I didn't really remember the event. So I refused to let myself believe that was what was causing the sadness, but in all reality it was that is what ruined my mental health during this time. So the first step is to face and accept what caused the loss of control. So what I did was I wrote a letter entailing everything that happened that night, everything that happened along this 4-month time period, and I truly use this letter as an outlet for myself to get everything out. So I wrote down everything I felt. I wrote down everything that happened, and I finally accepted that is what made me lose control. Step 2 would be to assess the current health of your state of mind. My grandma comes from a generation who doesn't really believe in mental health issues like that. So I was just thinking I was crazy. My birth control, my medications, different things were causing it. Step 2 is truly just accepting that and assessing that and realizing where you are so that you know where you're starting at. The first 2 steps to me are really just assessing the future. It's assessing the present moment, and it's realizing where you are. Taking responsibility for how you're reacting is the first step. So it's realizing that there's a problem, clearly, and because you can't find a solution until you realize and accept that there's a problem. So those are the first 2 steps, is just to accept and face what is going on. The third step is to let go of that need to have control. So the need to feel like you haven't lost control, even when you have, that denial again that I was talking about, the unwillingness to accept the pure sadness that you are enduring, the depression that you're in. You have to really realize that you are not in a great space. I wasn't. I was in a terrible space. I was extremely depressed, but I still felt like I needed to be in control. I didn't want help because I felt like I needed to be in control. I didn't want someone to tell me I was sad. I didn't want anyone to try to tell me what I needed to do to fix it because I wanted to feel in control, and I was I didn't want to try new things. Because I didn't believe that I was sad. I didn't believe that I was in this terrible state of mind. Just really encourage everyone to let go of that need to be in control, because it's going to keep you in the same spot that you are in, struggling at like now. Like it's going to keep you there. So to kind of go off of that, you need to try new things. So I'll use my example. I used fitness. So it's just really finding your funnel to release, which mine was fitness. So I tried fitness. I didn't know if I was going to love it. I didn't know if I was going to hate it, but I knew that I needed to try something new. To backpack off that, I also got a new job, kind of stopped talking to my friends. I was focusing on myself, and I was just trying new things. The next step would be to create a plan and set a goal, because I know when you're in a state of depression and a time where you don't know where to go, or you don't know the next step, or even if there is a next step for you, it's a simple fact of being logical and setting a goal that you can look at. You write this goal down every single day. My goal was to just work out 4 to 5 times a week. It doesn't have to be like a goal such as like losing weight or like being able to lift this certain amount. Like, it's just simply like my goal was to just get there every single day and give it the time of day to try to work. Without that desire and that want, you are probably not ready for any of this advice that I'm giving you. But if you have that desire to get better and to improve and to make a change, then you're going to need to be logical for a second and write down a physical goal that you set your purpose to focus on. Whether that has anything to do with exercise, or it just has something to do with just like how you take on life moving forward. You just need to have a goal. And the next step obviously would be to give the goal 8 weeks of your life. So I told myself, you just do it for 8 weeks. You don't need to do anything past that unless you want to. So I did it for 8 weeks. And in that 8 weeks, my entire life changed. So like I said, like, you don't want to be closed-minded. You want to be open-minded to wanting change for any of this advice to even benefit you. So I know that does not sound easy at all, because it is not. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it's just as simple as that. Just set a goal and just do it, because it's not. So I'm going to give you a few tips to try not to give up and to not lose motivation. You just know for a fact when you go in, if you're in a terrible mood when you go in, you know you're going to come out a little bit happier. So just that pure thought of like knowing for a fact that this is going to help. Just like, I don't want to compare it to a substance, but almost like that. Like when you know for a fact when you do a substance or abuse a substance, you're going to have a feeling of some kind of happiness, fake happiness, whatever. If you want to call endorphins fake happiness, whatever, like, so call it whatever you want. But this is a healthy way to get that same release. So you just keep that in mind, like endorphins. It's like a simple, like in the moment, present fix for like a down feeling that you could have. The second piece of advice I will give is the 1 moment at a time mindset. So like, wake up in the morning, tell yourself, I will work out today. Don't even think about if you're going to work out tomorrow or the next day or the next day. It's the simple mindset of living in the present and just in the moment. So you're only focusing on that workout that you're doing that day. It doesn't matter what tomorrow's workout looks like. It doesn't matter if you're even gonna do it tomorrow. It's all about one thing at a time. The third piece of advice I will give is discipline. So the same discipline that you use when you get up and you make your bed, or the same discipline you use when you brush your teeth or when you take a shower, use that same discipline towards fitness. That same energy you have, the same mindset of I have to do this. It doesn't matter if I want to or not, knowing that this is something that has to get done. This is routine. This is must. This is on the to-do list, like just doing it. But the last piece of advice I will give you today is the last resort mindset. So that is, you have tried everything else, but you are not willing to give up yet. So if you are the person who has tried countless things to get better and you have not been able to find something that has helped you in any way, this is the mindset you want to have. This is the last option I have, and there's nowhere else I can go from here. So like, I'm going to give it my all, or ever anything you have left. Just give it anything you have left. This is just a mindset that will help you tremendously. It's just, this is the last option. I can't try anything new after this. Like, this is it. So I might as well give it everything I can give it. Thank you so much for listening in to the first episode of Exercise for the Mind. You can find our social medias on Instagram at Exercise for the Mind with the number 4 instead of the spelling of it. You can also find our website at exerciseforthemind.com, where you can leave us messages or topics you want us to communicate or cover in the future. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening in to this first episode of Exercise for the Mind, and I cannot wait to continue this journey.